Yeah, I mean, I think Bocuse is a clear one. I
Yeah.
mean, that kind of just having Thomas Keller become the president of Bocuse USA, and then watching the teams come through, and then having direct access to that was, I mean, with three kids working full time at the French Laundry as the executive sous chef, there's just no way I would have ever been able to think like, oh, that's an obvious choice. But with the foundation of Mentor and the new support they were able to offer and the support of Chef Keller himself, like that opportunity became real. And I think those types of things come along. And it's important, to keep those relationships, with people from the past. Coming here to press was an old friend from my per se days who was like, hey, you should go talk to so and so, and just being open minded, being able to kind of just recognize that everything happens for a reason. Everything's come back around. I mean, I was supposed to have a open my own restaurant, in April of 2020. So fortunately, that didn't happen. It was quite disappointing when it fell through. But you just have to be able to recognize, that even the disappointment can be the right motivation for the next thing, or can maybe allow another door to open.
Yeah. You already touched on flow state. You kind of alluded that you were in a flow state while you were competing at Bocuse Store. So maybe go back to that and just expand on that a little. What that adrenaline, what that feeling was for you
Sure.
at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, just getting there, I think is important. I think when I went to watch the European competition I had talked about earlier, there was that sense of intimidation, and I was just like, how do you get past that? And Rasmus Kofoed, who I mentioned, has Geranium in Denmark and in Copenhagen, and it's been such a key person in Bocuse d'Or. Like, he has a documentary, and in there he says, like, it's incredibly intense, and I love it. And that, I literally took a screenshot of that and just looked at it all the time. And it was like, getting to that point where you love the challenge, and that's actually motivating for you. We would joke all the time. It's like, you're going to train for a whole year and you get one shot, 5.5 hours, and that's it. It's over. So that can be just incredibly stressful. But for us, it was like we had worked in this vacuum for a year to develop something that we knew was exciting. We were so close to it, it maybe didn't feel as exciting. But I think the people in the room who told us it was great, Daniel Ballou, Grant Atkins, Chef Geller, they kind of know something about food. So we kind of were like, I think we're in a good spot, you know. And the design of Martin was just really exceptional. And so we'd gotten to a point where there was just so much pent up excitement to like finally be able to like show everyone and perform. Um, it's like you got a present for your best friend and you just can't wait to give it to him, but you got to hold on to it for a year, you know? And so, to when I just remember like visibly stepping into that box that day, the kitchen, and just immediately just feeling like this just overwhelming, like adrenaline rush of like, here we go, this is it. And like my body literally felt like it was on fire. Like I literally just had to like calm down. And I just remember cooking and just being like, if I let this take over, like I'm gonna make a mistake because we're gonna be going too wild too fast. And so just being like having the ability to just kind of suppress that just enough where it was now a positive thing was like really critical. But um, yeah, I've never felt that way before or since then, and it's pretty awesome. So running, getting super fit, being able to get to a point where like you can just run and you just feel like you could just go forever. Like that's probably about as close as I've come to that. But yeah, it takes a lot of effort to get there.